Hey, what's up, everybody? I just wanted to talk about Gambit for a bit and get my thoughts out there, so please stick around and tell me your thoughts, and let's make this a discussion. Now, I'm gonna start from the beginning and work my way to now, then talk about professional play and give some critiques. Let's go back to the summer of 2018. We're sick of 4v4 Crucible. Double primaries make strikes kind of boring, and the raids were not the most well received raids. Many people went back to D1 or just stopped playing. And then Forsaken was revealed. We're getting new supers, a new story, the biggest raid we have ever had to date, still, and a new game mode. PvE VP is not extremely common in FPS games, at least to my knowledge. So Gambit became very interesting, and Bungie delivered a very entertaining tournament at Guardian Con to showcase the new game mode, which was won by Mr. Fruit, T-Rex, Miss 5000 Watts, and creative director at Bungie, Robbie Stevens. At the time, Gambit was well received, but this wouldn't last forever. Before the release of Forsaken, Bungie released a Gambit beta to the public, which was only on Emerald Coast. It was fun at first, then Wardcliff spam began. Then the Sleeper was awoken. It became a glimpse at a dark future. The combination of Wardcliff, Sleeper, and only having one map may have harmed the reputation of the new game mode. Forsaken finally launched, with 3 maps and another awaiting on the defeat of Riven in the Dreaming City. And we would soon discover how powerful linear fusion rifles were. Sleeper was the main culprit, with a much stronger weapon hiding behind RNG. Queenbreaker. The amount of aim assists on Queenbreaker made it a must pick for invaders and the best counter to invaders. The blocker economy was awful. Ogres didn't have enough health. The phalanxes were just broken. They had way too much health. They had a shield to block attacks, and they had knockback, and they only cost 5 motes. Soon, a new meta would infect Gambit, leaving scars we still see in the mode today. Thunderlord. The Thunderlord is a great gun. It became meta in Gambit very quickly. It had a lot of ammo, really good fire rate, good damage, long range, and low recoil, along with above average DPS for a heavy weapon. So yeah, it was a bit strong. It was eventually nerfed, but it brought with it a bad omen. When Thunderlord was nerfed, it was the only LMG in the game. But the Thunderlord nerf was a range and stability nerf to all LMGs in Destiny 2. Black Armory came along and brought Hammerhead. I hate Hammerhead. That's it. Fuck Hammerhead. And most LMGs in Gambit. Then finally, what Gambit had been leading to, Gambit Prime. Now, I know that there is some divide around Gambit Prime. Personally, I loved it. The defined roles, fast pace, the envoy mechanic making damage phases, not sustain DPS, bank draining. My friends and I would spend weekends playing Prime. We grinded for high stat roll armor. Honestly, we got pretty good at it. I'll tell you our secret right now. Now that you can't use it against us. 1 invader, 1 reaper, and 2 collectors. Trust me, it just worked. One of our favorite things about Prime was the fact that every role was valuable. Not so much the Sentinels. Invaders were a little too strong in Prime. But Reapers and Collectors were great. That takes us now to the new singular Gambit brought to us with Season of the Hunt and Beyond Light. I don't really like it much at all. The blocker changes are great. I would rather fight phalanxes than captains, but the new Gambit just feels like a revamped classic Gambit without the things that made Prime special. The mode just feels confusing now. It's much more casual than Prime, but also less forgiving. You lose more than 5 motes and you just get snowballed. It also feels like the catch-up mechanics from Classic Gambit are missing. And get ready, here's the most controversial opinion of the video. Invaders should heal the Primeval more or get more kills. Even giving the Primeval more health would help. In my time playing the new mode, being invaded during mote collection fucks you over. If they get any kills, you lose the game in the first minute. But if you invade during Primeval phase, you are hurting your team more than the other. At least in my experience, a 4K does not stop damage long enough and doesn't heal enough damage to justify losing the DPS to your own Primeval. Honestly, I never liked the classic Gambit Primeval phase. It felt too focused on sustained damage, which is why Chaos Reach was so good at Primeval damage in early Gambit. It just feels like the new Gambit is a step forward for Classic and 2 steps forward for people that didn't play Gambit because it's shorter now, and a massive step back for Prime players. So I started working on this video before Beyond Light was released, and I was excited to see what the new Gambit would be, but I was very disappointed in what I got. Originally, I was going to talk about how Gambit could have been a possible esport, which I'll still do that. But I have new ideas. I just want to bring up the question, why was 2 Gambit playlists bad or forbidden? We have the Strike playlist and the Nightfall Strikes for Vanguard. Then we have 4 or 5 playlists for Crucible at a time. So why was 2 Gambits so bad? In my opinion, 3 playlists would be much better. The current playlist as the casual or quick play option. Then you add a ranked option with different Primeval mechanics. You can keep the servitor, add something like the Prophecy boss, add one with the Prime envoys, and then add other mechanics that we already have in the game. That just makes sense to me. You can also add a trial-style weekend-only version, which is what Bungie initially intended this to be on, a PvE trials, essentially, where 1 map and 1 Primeval per week. You need to be in a fire team. Add back the roles to that. Maybe change up the perks, rebalance them. Maybe make them builds like Stasis. And make this a 2 out of 3 with that more Prime feel. That way the games are longer. And even if you lose the first round, you still have 2 to come back. So it's more of that sweaty feeling that Prime gave you. But if you screw up, you still have 2 more chances. Also, only the Weekend Sweat playlist should have light level enabled. It's ridiculous that after 2 years, we still have light level enabled for PvP in Gambit. I just don't understand why Bungie made that decision. And bring back the Dreaming City map. Then rework the Tangled Shore map and bring in new maps too. Maybe explore different mechanics in the maps. Personally, I really like Deep 6 because it's more of a close quarters map, so it's different than the rest of them. It has the roundabout conveyor belt to make you speed boost across the map. It's really fun. The portals on the Nessus map are fun. And I wish that we had more of the moving platform from New Arcadia in a map. Maybe just explore specific movement mechanics and map dynamics to make the Gambit maps more interesting. But honestly, we just need more maps. Now I'm finally going to talk about esports tournaments and all that. I enjoyed the Guardian Con tournament, and I think that something like that could be fun to bring back. I thought it would happen with Season of the Drifter and Gambit Prime. They even made jerseys for it. I have my Invader jersey. So why don't they pursue that? Well, for that I refer to someone more knowledgeable in the game than me, Astacross. I'll link one of his videos down below where he kind of touches on this, but Gambit is a good stab at an esport. It just misses the mark. I think locking down the sandbox weapons so that it isn't so random would help with some of the problem, along with changing the heavy ammo economy. I'm not sure how you would go about that and what limitations there are to changing how you get ammo, but it just needs to be different. And with the new Gambit, they would need to make it snowball less. I love to see the underdog come up and win, but it's just so difficult, which it should be. But it's honestly ridiculous how fast snowballing happens in the new Gambit. Bungie has said that they're listening to feedback, and I kind of want to hear other people's too. This is just kind of my first thoughts, a little less than 2 weeks into the new DLC and the new Gambit. So if you disagree with me, feel free to tell me and give me your reasons why I'm wrong. But I just hope that Bungie doesn't forget about the Prime players, because that's kind of what it feels like they did. Because it feels like the classic Gambit players are pretty divided on the new mode. People that hated Gambit still hate Gambit, but they're glad that it takes way less time to get through their pinnacle now. And it just feels like the people that hate it the most are the Prime players. So hey, if you agree with me or disagree with me, like it, don't like it, dislike it, maybe leave a comment, tell me. You know, maybe hit subscribe. But yeah, let's just try to make this a discussion. And if you'd be so kind, go follow my Twitter, my Twitch. Maybe ask me something. I don't know. Let's just keep this going, and that's it. I'll see you.